guys, Moon here. Hello, my Foxy family. I uploaded the Tech of the Future. In one of my previous videos, I was talking about, sorry, camera froze there for a minute. That we were coming up with our own theories and whatnot. Now, some of the Five Nights at Freddy's thing. Okay, now I know everybody and their brother's been jumping on this, but we got taught, me and Nico and Draco here, both, all three of us got talking about different theories that we had. Now, I had kind of an idea as to the timeline, okay? I knew Sister Location was not the last game. I knew this dude was either Draco had come up with him doing it in kind of like a Star Wars thing, where he was starting from like the last game on. He wasn't starting on the last game, because the very first Five Nights at Freddy's, okay, was somewhere in like almost the last one, but not quite. And then you had the one with the kids, the Nightmare one, and then the what was the other one? The one with the vents and Mangle and whatnot. Sister Location, and then one of the other ones. Now, I haven't actually personally played these, mind you, but I kind of got into the series when my youngest and my eldest were all into it. Hun, your theories?
Personally, I believe that the animatronics, whatever the heck they're called, I think there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
They weren't designed at all to be children's entertainment. I believe that they're military hardware designed with the sole purpose of war. And someone went into the facility, which was Sister Location, because it was underground, military bunker type, and set off a localized EMP, electrical magnetic pulse, which fried the animatronic circuitry. But it's only a temporary fry because it's not a very powerful device. So once they rebooted, their prime function became activated. And their prime function is to kill.
Yeah, thus the baby animatronic basically eating the kid. Okay,
She was the first one to malfunction.
That's the thing though, is that she's the only one in the entire Sister Location that technically had killed something, because like in the Sister Location, baby had said she only remembered being on stage like once. Yeah, because they had their own little pizzeria thing with those animatronics, and then they moved that from the upper level, up top side, to the bunker once that happened. After that, the robots were just kind of rented out on a needed basis. But my thought was, because you have the Bite of 87, which was when the little kid got his face chomped on. Something I didn't pay attention to, that this guy here, Treesicle, which is, we're going to be all watching here in a minute, this is a reaction video, okay, of this, because this was, holy crap, I kind of watched it a little bit, and I wanted to share this with you guys, because this guy is good. I'm going to definitely put a link to his description in the below for him, so you guys can watch this video yourself, okay, without watching it off my channel. Let me try to think here. I didn't write any of this stuff down, which was stupid. we were all discussing this. But I knew the Bite of 87 happened first. Then it had to have been the Nightmare one. It was my thought anyway. It was the Nightmare one. Because then it's either it's the kid and... Kay and I both were thinking that it's the kid, or Miku was thinking that it's the kid in the coma, either having the nightmare, or it's the older brother having the nightmare. We're thinking it was the little boy in a coma.
That doesn't make any medical sense. I mean, speaking, with what I know about medical, if the Bite of 87 was as horrendous as they make it out to be,
yeah,
half this kid's face is gone, yeah?
Well, like one of the side of the lobes of the brain or something like that.
Part of the frontal lobe is gone. Skull is missing. Eye socket, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically, this is gone. He would have bled to death before the ambulance got there. And then, even then, the paramedics would not be able to contain the bleeding. Because there's 1 trillion blood vessels, major blood vessels, in the brain. One of which is your jugular.
Yeah.
Has a main artery that goes straight into the frontal lobe of your brain. Turns, goes back, goes down through the medulla oblongata into the other one.
Which is the back of the base of your skull, by the way.
Yeah. He would have bled to death within seconds.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so there is no coma for the bite victim.
Yeah. Now, the cutscene or whatever that it shows, or it actually shows the bite of 87, shows it to be, absolutely horrendous. The whole kid's head's inside the animatronic that chomps down. But the story goes that he went into a coma. So that's where, we're thinking, okay, the storyline, according to Scott, the creator of FNAF here, was he went into a coma. So it's a nightmare of freaking somebody that witnessed that bite. If you think child psychology, I'm thinking, my kid thought it was the kid in coma. Personally, I was thinking more of either the older brother, because the older brother was just a mean little shit, and the little brother was scared of these animatronics, and he and his friends were lifting him up, getting him closer and all this, and that's how the bite happened, because the spring locks in the animatronic just went off, because it was bumped wrong.
Yeah.
Now, working animatronic or non-working animatronic, spring locked, anything, you bump it wrong, you're going to snap shut.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all there is to it. Think of a mouse trap if you move it wrong. So, child psychology is a nightmare of somebody. Then you have the one where we finally get to see Springtrap, and it's all decrepit and, whatnot. Well, that's obviously way far in the future, of course. That would be kind of like the end of the movies, or the games. I call them movies, personally. No, I don't want to restart my computer now. No. But anywho, anywho, I should have wrote, that day we were doing all those theories, I should have wrote this down. But let me get to the video, because we're already, for 7 minutes in. Yeah, we're already 7 minutes into the video. So, that being said, all of us were partially right. I say partially because this guy clears it all up, but I was out of order on the games. Sort of. I was wrong on where we thought Sister Location was the very, very first. It's not. And you'll see why.
You thought it was over. You thought I was done. You thought there was nothing left to say.
Actually, you didn't think that at all, did you? Because we have thousands of comments asking us every question you could possibly think of to clarify just what the hell happened in Five Nights at Freddy's. So I, Grant the Grantabulous, am going to take the time to flesh out all the kinks of what you wonderful people might have missed, misunderstood, or just needed some
And I am going to be pausing
I'm
this.
also going to give you some victory
Okay, sorry, I hit the wrong pause button. I'm going to be pausing this as we go. To, give my opinions and things. So, I accidentally hit the pause on the recording instead of the pause on the video. So, all he said was that he's going to bring the, timeline together.
We'll all fall together.
So get your pens out and your ears open, because I'm about to spray my knowledge sauce all over you with the story. You never knew.
Alright, now, I am going to pause this for a second, let him get through his thing. I wanted at least so you guys could see his intro there. But I'm going to pause it till we get into it, because I don't want to completely steal his video. Okay, anyway.
Last time I explained my reasoning for why I believe that we play as Purple Guy in Sister Location, and why Purple Guy is innocent because of his body being taken over by Ender. In case you missed either of those videos, you can take a look at them by clicking the I button in the top right corner of the screen. I definitely recommend watching them if you haven't already.
Like I said, the link to this video
will
will be in the description. So if you guys want to go and watch that, do. I highly recommend it. I'm going to go watch them, but I'm not going to record them. because this is the only one that I'm going to do.
Battles. Or if you've already seen them, maybe you'd like a refresher. It has been a few weeks. So go do that now, or don't, it's a free country. Now, let's delve back into the games and take a look at what you guys are asking about. Okay, so first up, I saw this question asked over and over again. How can the purple guy be who we play as in Sister Location if he gets killed at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 3? Alright,
Now, as a refresher, the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was the, one where he got turned into Springtrap.
totally understand why so many of you were asking about this, because Scott decided to make the games completely out of chronological order. Damn your confusing yet oh so intriguing storyline, Scott! So let's go over the timeline really quickly. We have Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which takes place at the beginning of the timeline. We know this because we only have two animatronics, Golden Freddy and the Golden Bonnie. Both these animatronics are also Springlock suits, since we can see them being used by employees. We know that this is the start of the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline because Golden Freddy or Golden Bonnie or both make appearances in all other games where they are out of commission. Therefore, Five Nights at Freddy's 4 has to come first in the timeline because it has the golden suits in working order and there are no other animatronics. Next!
Okay, pause for a second.
Star Wars theory.
If you guys want to kind of get an idea and a refresher now, I'm going to do this as well. I recommend not so much Markiplier.
He cuts a lot of stuff.
He cuts out a lot of things, but maybe possibly Jack or some other, look up some little no-name YouTuber. One, they can use the views, they can use the likes, and they can use the subscribers. Secondly, a lot of us, myself included, we don't know how to edit.
Exactly.
Or cut. So
they're not going to screw it around.
Exactly. You might actually have a chance at seeing the full game, the full cutscenes, all of that. The full game cutscene, the cutscenes within the game.
You get the full Monty, basically.
Yeah. Now, I'm planning on doing this in the Five Nights at 4 because I don't remember seeing that, but it's been a long time since I watched anyone play it. So I'm going to go and refresh myself after watching this guy on the games.
We have Sister Location. We can tell Sister Location is next for a few reasons. First of all,
I'll hush until the timeline thing's done.
See Funtime Foxy as a working animatronic. Funtime Foxy then appears in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 as Mangle, where it appears completely broken. So Sister Location has to come before Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but after Five Nights at Freddy's 4. After Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the toy animatronics are decommissioned and the large pizza establishment is shut down. Then, a smaller establishment is opened, which is the location of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. Here we get the plush animatronics instead of the toy ones. Then, years later, we have the setting of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which is the last in the franchise. We know this because FNAF 3's setting is in an amusement park attraction that is all about the atrocities that happen to the Fazbear franchise. So it has to come after the rest of the games. To clarify one more time, the timeline goes FNAF 4, Sister Location, FNAF 2, FNAF 1, and finally, FNAF 3.
Now, I am going to pause it there so that we actually have this here. This was kind of like the idea that I had originally. The only thing we were wrong on was where, you guys can see me pointing, but I'll leave my cursor on so you guys can see it while I'm messing around, on where this one was.
Yeah, I thought Sister Location was the first.
Exactly. It wasn't. 587 happened first because that was the spring locks. That's why we don't see the spring locks here, but we see kind of the same general
same basic
design,
And by the way, everybody, I apologize for the sound. If you hear any background racket, we're having the rear paved areas of our yard redone today.
Yeah.
So if you hear chainsaws or what have you, it's the workers. They're busy.
Eventually, I did take some videos, one or two of them anyway, of the backyard, and I could, did a little tour of the backyard and stuff. So, I'll see if I can find those on my phone or my other little rinky-dink thing that I have for a phone, and upload those so you guys can see. Probably do it before and after, maybe. I don't know yet, but yeah. So I knew that this here was pretty much the order.
Yeah.
And I believe 4 was the one of the nightmare. And then you have the others. So, yeah. And there goes the racket that he just mentioned.
I warned you.
So yeah, this was kind of the basic timeline. So this is awesome. I'm glad that this is finally clarified. Because I knew that the one that they're showing as the last one, I knew that was the last one because all of the animatronics, all of them, puppet, everything, are tore to hell. So that had to be the last one, you know? Okay, so kind of from about this point on, I haven't seen the video really, so we might be pausing it a lot to discuss, if you will.
Now that that's been cleared up, we clearly see Purple Guy get into the spring bodysuit during one of the Five Nights at Freddy's 3
Turn so that way Draco can
These
see
events
it.
happen after the events of Sister Location in the timeline, so there's nothing wrong with the storyline from that angle. Purple Guy becomes Enter, then, years later, gets chased into the spring bodysuit by ghost children, and then, as the spring locks come loose, the Purple Guy becomes Springtrap. It all lines up perfectly. So yes, Springtrap is an animatronic inside a human body inside an animatronic. Did you ever see Inception? Yeah, it's like that, full of things that make me go, holy dick-potamus! Oh yes, many of you asked the related question, but how can Purple Guy be an animatronic when we see him bleed in FNAF 3?
Now, his picture set aside, that was actually something that we were also kind of cut on, was everybody and their brother was blowing up about who the hell is entered and what the hell. So when this guy said he could clarify it, I jumped on this video immediately because that was the one piece in the puzzle that we hadn't figured out yet. So there we go.
Ooh, baby, you really thought you had me good with this question, didn't you? You were all like, ha, gotcha, Grant, your theory is wrong, and your channel is stupid, and I bet your penis is shaped like a pine cone. Well, we'll see who has a penis shaped like a pine cone after this. What if I told you that I had not just one, but 3 possible answers to that question? I have 3 possible answers, so let's get into...
Okay, I'm going to pause this here because I do remember this part. Alright. The most I can do with editing is pausing and playing the video, okay?
The golden bodysuit that Purple Guy gets into has clearly been in that pizzeria for a while. We can tell because the pizzeria itself is horribly run down. Things are broken, there are rats scurrying around the floor, and the ceiling is leaking. Obviously, when the owners closed up shop, they left the bodysuit there. And there it's been until the Purple Guy put it on. And have you seen what happens to metal that is left alone in wet areas for a long period of time? It begins to rust. I don't know if you've been around a lot of rust, but when there's a lot of rust and a lot of water, the water takes on this gross orangish reddish color that you wouldn't want coming out of your Capri Sun, much less your sink. You know what else that reddish water looks like? Blood. That red liquid coming out of the Springtrap suit could just be a mixture of water and rust getting pushed out as the spring locks close in on the deteriorating metal. But let's talk for a second. While this is plausible, I think it's the weakest of the possible explanations. And remember, we still have 2 more of those. The next possible explanation for Purple Guy bleeding and it actually...
Hold on. It would depend on how run down the place was. Honestly. I mean, like he was just explaining with the rust and whatnot. I have actually seen the brownish red of rust. I used to have really bad pipes when I was a kid. And I remember I went to run a bath. And it looked like holy hell, Satan had taken over my bathroom. Because I had red water coming out of my bathtub faucet. I ran screaming to my grandmother. So, I have actually physically seen this. Not real sure if that could be considered the weakest, though. But if, at any point in time, if in Sister Location we did become the meat suit, as he's going to call it, if Enter did in fact become Purple Guy, then it would stand to reason that if his skin and things like that were still around, well, skin's going to have capillaries and blood and, you know, crap, and insides, you know, innards, okay, fine. Bad joke. Whatever.
Very bad.
But those insides, those innards, are gonna bleed. So, anyway, on to option 2.
Blood is really quite simple. During the secret ending, Baby says you won't die, and it will only hurt for a moment, while referring to Ennard getting inside of you. If she's telling the truth, and she's told us the truth the rest of the game, when we get scooped, William Afton never actually died. Parts of him were taken out to make room for Ennard, but certain parts of Afton were left inside his skin. So when the Springlock suit fails at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we may very well be seeing the death of what was left of Afton. Any leftover organs or body parts that were alive got killed and smashed, hence the massive amounts of blood. Another theory, which is closely related to the last one, is that William Afton's skin was kept alive somehow to keep up the appearance of Ennard being a person. This has to be the case if we're to believe that Ennard was able to convincingly pose as a human. I mean, you're not a very believable human if your skin is running off. I don't know if you've ever pricked your thumb with a needle before, but skin has blood in it. So when the Springlock suit crushed Purple Guy's skin, the blood within the skin spilled out, resulting in the red puddle we see. But
Pausing that there. I just said that. I literally just said that.
You see the point? Just because we see a pool of blood doesn't mean that Ennard wasn't inside the Purple Guy already. And in fact, you'll soon see that it makes even more sense with the rest of the story. So, there's multiple explanations for why there's a pool of blood when the Springlocks go off on Purple Guy. And it makes sense that with the Springlocks broken, Ennard is now trapped in the Springbomb suit. So when we see Springtrap in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, that's just Ennard trapped inside the Springbomb suit, trying to get your skin so we can continue hiding. And this might not even be the end of the story. At the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, if you brighten up the picture in the newspaper, we see Springtrap in the background, meaning...
Whoa! What, in case it's too broad for y'all, right here. There's the partial ear, and then him hiding right there.
He's still alive! You're telling me a regular human could go through losing that much blood, then get stuck in a burning building, and still survive? I don't think so. And that's because it's not a human. It's an animatronic. Ennard, in Purple Guy's skin, gets crushed in the Spring Bunny suit. The blood can be explained as rust or leftover innards of William Afton or Purple Guy's skin bleeding. But the Springlocks couldn't crush Ennard as he's made of metal, so he haunts Fazbear's front, trying to get another human skin to hide it. And when it burns down, he survives, because he's not a human. Hopefully that cleared up all the misconceptions about just how that puddle of blood came to be.
Not really.
There's something more, isn't there? Haven't you noticed the entire franchise seems to have pieces that don't quite fit? The entire Five Nights at Freddy's storyline, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 through 4, the book, and sister location just don't piece together perfectly. And that's because they aren't supposed to. When Five Nights at Freddy's 4 came out, Scott wrote that it was the final chapter of the original storyline. The key words here are original storyline. Yet we clearly see direct connections between the first 4 FNAF games, the book, and sister location. The intro of sister location references William Afton, who was revealed to be the Purple Guy in Silver Eyes, for crying out loud. But there are things that just don't add up.
Now, for the record, I have not read the book, okay? I plan on it. It is something I would like to do in the future, to get kind of an idea, but I have not actually read the book.
For example, the Purple Guy's daughter is a fucking asshole in FNAF 4. She tells this scary story to scare her brother. But all the audio we have from the girl in sister location makes her sound super sweet and friendly. This shift in personality just doesn't make sense. Until you remember that Scott said FNAF 4 is the end of the original storyline. This leaves only one explanation for why there never seems to be enough pieces to finish the FNAF puzzle. The Five Nights at Freddy's universe has an alternate timeline.
Sister Location and the novel Silver Eyes are on a different timeline than the rest of the games. And this isn't just me guessing here. Scott has said the games are what they are, and as I stated before, that story is finished. The games and the books should be considered to be separate continuities, even if they do share many familiar elements. So yes, the book is canon, just as the games are. That doesn't mean that they are intended to fit together like two puzzle pieces. So if the book is canon, and the games are canon, but they have contradicting pieces of evidence that don't fit in the same universe, the only explanation is that there is more than one FNAF universe. He even says that we should think of them as separate continuities. This book was from before Sister Location was released, so it's really hard to tell if Scott meant for Sister Location to be in the same universe as the novel, or if he's actually created 3 separate timelines. But if there are any discrepancies between the original games and Sister Location, it's because Scott doesn't think of them as being completely connected. Are they similar? Absolutely! Do they share a lot of the same history? Obviously. But that doesn't mean that everything should fit together perfectly, because Scott didn't plan them to. So really, the best answer for why Purple Guy leads in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 when William Afton is already entered, is that Scott decided to make a story that involves multiple universes. And he came up with the story of Ennard after the original storyline. He finished that story, but wanted to continue working in a Five Nights at Freddy's universe. So he made another one, not caring so much about whether or not every little detail would add up. Even...
Okay, I'm gonna stop him there. That actually makes a hell of a lot more sense than Purple Guy being entered.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what the hell? You know,
Yeah.
Purple Guy... I mean, if you think about this in reality, okay? For those of you who are not adults yet, it's not easy. Because as an adult, in order to work somewhere, you have to have Social Security, you have to have ID, you have to have birth certificate. I mean, you have to have all this paperwork. You might have to have a work history, depending on how old you are. You know, proof that you can do your job. And ultra shiny eyes isn't a thing to do. It wouldn't have passed. Ennard would have had to have realistic eyes, not the purple shiny things we see at the end of the thing. I think another theory of mine is that the elevator and thing like this was programmed to read just the surface. Okay, like a scanning of the surface. And when you got in the elevator, if you were animatronic, sorry, not going nowhere, you're kind of stuck. Because it's going to read your surface as being robotic. So honestly, I think what it is Ennard is, in fact, parts of all the other animatronics who were haunted by other children. Who were killed. Because there's another theory out there that I had watched. That inside each of those animatronics is actually a cage-type setup. That this main dude that made this place was insane and running experiments and stuff, which would explain why these animatronics get shocked. If they're just robotic, they would not have to be shocked to keep them in line. Unless they were children or other whatevers inside these things. That actually makes sense. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. Moving on.
Though Scott knows his games will be scrutinized for plot holes by millions of fans, this is the saving grace of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise that will keep Scott in the clear if plot holes pop up in any FNAF game, past or future. So no matter how many questions we may have, how many pieces just don't quite fit, it really doesn't matter. If the creator decides that inconsistencies are okay, there's nothing we can do but put the puzzle together as best we can. So next time you spend days on end thinking about just how insanely complicated the Five Nights at Freddy's universe is, remember that even if you figure it all out, it will never fit perfectly. But that's the beauty of the games, isn't it? It allows us to work and rework ideas over and over to find out the best way they can fit, even if it's never perfect. So perhaps Scott's choice isn't so bad. Maybe it's really a blessing in disguise. And that's the story. You never know. I'm sorry that I didn't get to answer all your questions, but we tried to get to the most important ones that were asked the most often. But there was one question asked a bajillion times that we didn't get to answer. Grant, what's your favorite morning drink?
Okay, now on that note, I'm gonna leave the video there. Because that's, you know, if you want to know, watch his video.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. But he did clear up a lot, at least for me. The timeline for one, that's the biggest issue because the games were totally done out of order. The whole, with Scott saying things about being the different alternate continuities, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because even though you have Purple Guy and whatnot, it would make more sense to me that the Purple Guy from the first set of stories, excluding, mind you, Sister Location. Scrap Sister Location completely. Alright? You have the number 4, which was the Bite of 87, the kid. Okay? Purple Guy did, in fact, have children of his own. Okay? His son was killed by one of the animatronics. That will set a parent off, man. Like, that will make them go insane. There are parents out there who have lost their children, and I am surprised they're not freaking murdering psychopaths by now. Because when you lose your children, that is the worst that could ever happen to someone. Okay? Sorry if there's actually been worse that has happened to someone, but I'm a parent, so to me, that would be the worst thing that could ever happen. Would be losing my girls. So, Purple Guy goes psycho, starts killing these kids. Well, he encountered something, because our other theory was him delving into necromancy or something when he realizes that something else was possessed. So perhaps he ran into the baby animatronic, or knew of it, or something, as his daughter. That's the only way I can conceivably think of Sister Location being part of the original FNAF story. Honestly, Purple Guy was just like, sorry, alarm. He was a psycho, and he was, the original story is, he used the Golden Freddy suit, which didn't have any animatronics in it, by the way, for those of you who didn't know. It was just a mascot suit. Not to be confused with a fursuit. For those of you that like to think furries are mascots. Anyway, it was just a, a mascot suit for the restaurant, which, like, think of Chuck E. Cheese. Okay, there's a dude in there running around with, some mousy fursuit thing on. No, not fursuiter. Anyway, with that thing on. He can actually see through little mesh bits of the eyes and things like that. But there's a difference between a fursuit and a mascot suit.
You can actually see through the mouth.
What, on Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you see through them somehow.
And there's usually some very underpaid jackass in the suit.
Yeah.
Suits are filthy.
And probably smell and everything else. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, because people don't exactly take care of them.
Yeah, and if it's provided by the restaurant and it doesn't, like, they don't give you the mascot suit to take home and use as a uniform, then they're probably not going to send it in to get washed and everything else. So you got the funk of whoever the hell was hired ahead of you, or whoever had a shift ahead of you in that mascot.
And if they accidentally pissed themselves.
Oh, God.
Because they're not allowed to take very many breaks.
No, they're not. Well, Chuck E. Cheese is hardly, like, he's only seen, like, once an hour. Maybe twice an hour.
Yeah.
So, that's no big deal there.
But shit, I remember when I went to Disney, every mascot, like Donald, Disney, all them, were miserable.
Wow.
Because this was in Florida.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're not allowed out of their suits, but for 30 minutes at a time. They have 3 breaks during the day, and they're on for 12 hours in that suit.
That's bad.
That's why they have a lot of
Turnover?
deaths.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I do have a link, I do have a video that's fursuiting videos in my channel if you guys want to go check it out. They discuss different things of the heat and how to act and all sorts of fursuiting things. So check that out, okay? It's a safe video for all ages at this point of what I've seen of it. But, anywho, going back to what we're talking about. So, the Golden Freddy was basically a mascot suit that Purple Guy decided to put on, and in pedophilic fashion, entice the children to try to follow him and go with him off to a room or off wherever so he could kill them. Now, the thing is he gets them in said room, but he would have to take the golden suit thing off in order to hurt these children. So, what I'm thinking is he captured them, locked them in somewhere, left the room, took the thing off, went back and killed his kids. And the story of the canon goes, as you all probably already know, is he stuffed the children's bodies inside the animatronics. Okay? That's why they possess the Bonnie, the Chica, the Fred, and Foxy as well. Because he stuffed them in there. Okay? Why Golden Freddy comes up, the theory I have with that is, it's not so much as there's a kid that got stuffed inside the mascot suit. What I'm thinking, okay, and this is paranormally, when you have a lot of negative energy in an area, it can cause what's called a residual haunting. Okay? Like a poltergeist, if you will. And what I'm thinking is all that hate and all that violence and all that that suit was used for caused the poltergeist in that suit. That's why Golden Freddy pops up and, you kind of die. But it's also why he's not technically an animatronic either. Let's see here. He does, in fact, in one of the games, he does turn into a screen body animatronic. That's a definite. Because the ghosts have had enough. I mean, they're done. They get their revenge by chasing him around. He freaks out. He decides to get into the Spring Bonnie animatronic suit, figuring, well, if people ran him before, he can be in it now. Well, like Treecicle here just discussed, metal gets rusty. Spring locks, oh my god, when they're rusty. He barely even, and there's a lot of videos on the death of Purple Guy. Okay, look him up. And you can tell that all of a sudden the spring locks were just shot, and as these things are springing everywhere, all the cords and cables and rods and things are driven into his body. And that's what you hear is him choking on his own blood as he's suffocating and dying. The other reason why I didn't think that Ennard was Purple Guy and then in turn Springtrap is because inside Springtrap's head, you can see Purple Guy's skull. Now, if Ennard's seeing through his eyes, how would he be able to fit his already shaped metal head into a skull of a human? That makes no sense to me. Not unless Purple Guy was technically actually dead when he got scooped in Sister Location. Because Ennard's head is not shaped like a human. Human heads are more elongated versus his round, shape. I mean, he'd have to be a very small animatronic in order to do that. So, yeah, I don't honestly think that, not Purple Guy, but, Sister Location actually really technically belongs in the canon story. Although in, I think it's 2, I know we do see Mangled. Now, we don't see her working, okay? That's the thing. We don't get that, how she came to be an animatronic. Or was she ever used? What? Well, kind of sort of in a way. I mean, yeah, Sister Location would be that. But what I'm thinking is the only way Sister Location could possibly even fit in this is when it was the Baby's Fun Time Pizzeria. Okay? Before it got moved, they all got moved to the bunker. Because otherwise, why would they have reused Mangle if she was insane and killing people? But it would explain why. She's like, a lot of the songs, like the Mangle song and whatnot, she's just a robot. She's not, able to feel or none of that because she's not possessed with the kid or the kid's soul. She's just there and doing what everybody else is doing, or doing what she was programmed to do, which is kill. So, yeah. Also, in the link, another link for you is Nerdbirds. You guys got to watch him. He is very cool, very good theorist. I've come across a few others, but Nerdbirds is the first one that pops into my brain. And with the way that they're starting to thump, I'm going to go ahead and end my video here so you guys can hear it, and we're also 40 minutes in. So, hopefully this clarifies a lot of crap for everybody. I know it did for me. This video pretty much put to light a lot of the theories that I had. So, on that note, my little fox family, I will see you all later.